Hello, Ji, Namaste, and welcome to episode number 3, Winning at Life as a Solopreneur in India. I know it has become sort of a tradition that every time a new guest comes around, I am the one who introduces them. But today I have invited a person who I believe my introduction will not do the justice. So, without wasting any more time, I introduce you, Mr. Cherag Mehta.
All right. Thank you, Ashutosh, for inviting me here. And, let me talk about how this all happened, how I became a, solopreneur slash digital consultant slash digipreneur. So I'm no different than any person, who uses internet or a person who does not use internet, right? So I'm no different than them. The story goes back. So I'm in early 40s. So let's rewind a bit in my life. So first of all, right from the days of my schooling, I did not have parental pressure. The people in my era always had parental pressure, plus there was a peer pressure. Then I pick and choose computer science because always fiddling with computers became my interest, and that's how I got entry into, I would say, technology or digital, right? So that's the side which brought me here, I would say. So fiddling with computers, got in computer graduation. Uh, Out of all my batchmates, 30 plus batchmates, I was the only guy who opted for MBA. Again, no pressure. It was all my choice, right? And after MBA, or while doing MBA, I got an opportunity to work with world class ad agencies, right? And that means work as an intern or work as a, let's say, summer intern. So that is
Right.
where the whole thing took off. I really got interested into marketing big time. I picked the marketing and advertising as my specialization during MBA. So I did a project with one of the big agencies here in India. And right from the, I would say, my college days, I have got only challenging stuff to work on, right? Project about the most taboo subject in India, right? So
Is
Newton's
it?
band of quantums, right? So
Oh, right.
yeah, that is what my I always have accepted because there are no takers for that, and that was one of the things which any intern wouldn't touch. And I was like more interested. My friend did in O&M, and another friend did in HTA. I did in Lentus, right?
Right.
This was my project, and I have to study the effectiveness of the advertising. So you can just imagine going from person to person asking about the effectiveness of that print ad. I'm talking in 2000s, right? Early
Right.
2000s, and this is
It's
like,
something that is really
yeah, 100 respondents. I have to go and do that. I will literally have to go on street and ask from this age, just take a judgment. Okay, this person belongs to my target audience and do that. Well, interesting part is I did well. And whatever the suggestions I made to that agency on my presentation that were accepted, and the client also accepted that they made those changes. I got to learn a lot in those 3 to 6 months' time. Uh, I was not paid. That was another funny part. So all this funding was happening. Yeah, I was
wow.
not paid for that work. And sometimes, life doesn't pay you at that point in time. You will reap results a little later. So couldn't get into advertising. Got an off-campus placement with Reliance Industries. 2000s, the telecom industry was emerging. So if you remember, $500 phone. So I was
Yeah.
one of the guys who also sold that on behalf of
Wow.
Reliance. So that was the starting point. Somehow down the line, 2 years, I did not enjoy doing that. And I always had this thing in the back of my mind that I need to go back to advertising or, marketing. That was my choice. Sales is not what I always wanted to. So few sales job here and there after Reliance, but finally I got into tech, right? Because the computers always excited me, especially troubleshooting computers.
Right.
So I worked in a small firm that was my, let's say, my friend's firm for a few years. After that, my friend, pushed me here. He more said that you need to move on. You are in a comfort zone forever, right? So
Hmm.
we were living like you don't care about money, you don't care about anything else in the world. This is like you're living a life which shouldn't be what you should accept challenges, move on, like the way you accept challenges during your MBA and all that project work. So I
Correct.
got a break in IT major, and from there I moved to one of the biggest, IT, I would say Big Four, right? So I worked there in Big Four, and I worked at that three letter, and I worked at the one of the biggest operating system company in the world. So those things happened. Yeah, I was also moving in the personal front where these two things were very challenging. Believe me, four interviews in one of the companies, 8 rounds of interview in the other company,
Whoa.
right? So I have to sail through all that. Okay. So they
Right.
were, yeah, it's a well paid position. I was an engineer. I was well paid, well trained, right? Very good. But there are a few things on my personal side that did not kind of helped me. I wouldn't blame anything, but yeah, things happen, and things happen for good or bad, but things happen.
Yeah.
So the same things were coming to my mind. It was 2010s. Now I was old enough to have some experience on hand with corporate experience, with technology experience. So somehow these two things uh, kind of put together, and my wife started a business for apparels, right? So my
Right.
spouse, so she started a business for apparels, and I just wanted to take that online. Suddenly, I felt that this is a thing which can take me to digital. And that happened.
Correct.
So I quit that cushion job in my early 30s and joined her. One more friend, so three of us started an e-commerce. Uh, it like took me so much time, because I had to build the infrastructure first of all. The getting a website and getting a payment gateway and getting a logistics was a pain in those days, right?
Right.
And Flipkart was like 2008. The
Correct.
place where I used to live from there was just block away. Flipkart just started, and I found many of the people who went and did things for Flipkart were also available. For example, the engineer whom built my site was the same guy who was working off work for Flipkart at a later stage, right?
Right.
And the logistics guy who integrated me is the same one who signed for uh, Zoe, Mintra, and those Zoe was one of the startup. Again, many
Correct.
things started that point in time. So I was also one of them. Our thing was we were offering women's ethnic apparels. So that was the thing where I started, and that was the thing I was working on. We tried scaling, we did everything we can. It was bootstrap. I did try for pre-series and all those kind of funding. It was very relatively new for me. It was not network, though I had
Correct.
started to attend and start networking on startup events and all those entrepreneur platforms, right? All those things I
Mm-hmm.
started and started doing it. End of the day, what happened is I had to move on. After giving it a try for 1.5, 2 years, I have to move on because things were not happening. Like, for example, you invested so much XYZ cash in
Mm-hmm.
Google Ads, and that's the kind of exactly, let's say, 5 or 10% is what you get on top of it as a return in terms of revenue and net profit. So that was not
True.
working,
Yeah.
right? So you invest a lot of time, money, effort, all my, let's say 10 years, whatever fund I could build on my own. So everything was invested in, everything was put in there. Uh, lot of things which go in there to build something. So one of the thing interesting happened is when I was doing it, and when I was scouting for vendors, or when I was doing it, because it is like 2 or 3 man team, and there are a couple of other people who are helping you in back end stuff and all that. But you have to be in the front line to pick things and do vendor negotiation. Pick
True.
anything in the world, it has to be you, right? So from
Yeah.
office boy to executive, chief executive, you have to do everything. That's what it is. There you learn a lot, right? That's the real life MBA you'll get when you run something on your own. And that happened. A lot of people came to me asking about how to integrate gateway, how to do, e-commerce and things like. So there, I will offer these things literally for free. All this information for free because a lot of trial and tribulation, I have reached a point where I knew things on my own, right?
Yeah.
Let's say how to do social, how to do SEO, because I am a self-taught person. I had to do a lot of experiments to learn these things. So there I got an idea. Okay, I can kind of, uh, get into this and help people building their digital, not only e-commerce. I can help them doing digital. So I tried working, tried out, applying to many different startups and again networking with people. But there were a few takers, there were a few not. Some negotiations didn't go the way it should go. Then
Correct. That
finally,
happens.
what I did was started to work for an agency, digital agency, where we have major accounts, right?
Hmm.
Big accounts, and I was head of delivering the services.
So would you say that this was the, the bridge that will get you back to advertising?
Exactly, Ashutosh. That was the time I started kind of enjoying that, what do you call it? Interjunction of things which I've learned from technology troubleshooting to fixing somebody's branding or
Right.
working on rebranding somebody's let's say the brand. So on digital, especially where you can do things very, very fast and all that, right? So I really started to enjoy that role, and I was able to also help people who came in new that point in time in terms of, let's say, because I had to manage different teams. Like people came in
Correct.
from design, people came for content, people came for code work. Code also had the front end and the back end. So I somehow had this generalist experience, which helped me a lot. Plus the marketing side of it from my education and from that agency exposure,
True.
right? So there began my journey as a consultant after working with, e-commerce, after working with, the agency. And now I was out here in the market trying to earn clients. So it's not easy. I would say it'll give you sleepless nights if you're trying to be a solopreneur and, especially a digital consultant. Today it might be recognized. Today you might be getting paid for your one-to-one calls, or you might be getting paid for webinar and exposing, or even doing trainings, which also that.
Right.
But those back in the days, it was very difficult. I'm talking about again, uh, somewhere in 2013, 2014, it was very 7 or 8 years, like very tough after I quit the agency. uh, I delivered food for my wife's business, and
Right.
I did that by having an iPhone and a car, right? So that was the funniest part.
True.
Quit the agency, got these two things. That's the thing which I'm left with. And she said, till you get clients, let's start a food business and,
Correct.
dial in food business. And, we will do. So we had this
But
niche, Swiggy.
that I'll just like to add something at this point is that it's really wholesome and really supportive and inspirational to see that your wife supported you through this. It wasn't that okay, you have quit your job, it was up to you, or you are not getting clients, get back to another job that will be more secure. That support must have been really crucial point and a pivotal part of your life.
Yes, I am very fortunate to have such a partner in my life. Like, believe me, even no offense meant or nothing to disrespect anybody's parents. So, if your parents also don't believe in you, you're left with someone who should believe you. Either it should be a friend or partner or someone to back you up. And this person, uh, is there in my life whom understood the potential of digital and understood the I would say how far I can go in terms of professional. So the way I turned from typical IT employee into solopreneur today is because of her. She gave me this opportunity, I would say, lifeline, I would say. And believe me, the food delivery was doing along with that. What I did is I implemented many digital ideas into our business, made a scan code a menu, made a menu which is downloadable on Dropbox and Google, things like that. Did many things, set up a small site where people can, come and order. We did not have UPI, even that we did not have UPI and all that. So
Correct.
still, whatever I could do, I did. That support was something which I wanted. And down the line, 6 months, I got a one good project, right? One good project. That client is still with me.
Wow.
That
And this
project.
was how long ago?
So this was around 2014, 2015 between them, right?
That's
So
amazing.
quit agency in 2013 and do this food thing with her. she's a salesperson, and she was the one who was finding projects, trying to, build a network and
Correct.
get me the connection till I got to a certain level. So she pitched for me, she did things, and I went and presented and got this project. And yeah, here we go. So there my
That's
journey
great.
started, where I did a lot of things. Again, build the team, build the whole marketing for them. And it was interesting. We did plan, what do you call it? Plan for the markets, global markets like London and Brussels. So
Right.
those were the things which really made, you know, uh, I would say, the profile I have today, right? So in between, I also got few more clients. So this is what it is. The challenge is to, get the right set of clients, and the challenge to get the right paying clients.
I couldn't agree more to this because you have one major reason that I invited you today is because in 2021 digital marketing is something that has boomed, and it's not just today. It is something that has started. It was building up to this point since the prior to the lockdown, because after 2020 almost everything went online, even marketing efforts, everything that we would talk about and everything we knew. So besides the offline marketing channels, TV is always there. TV was never affected by the lockdown. In fact, it was more uh, it had more pros after the lockdown, that there are more people viewing it. But digital marketing was something that became the next buzzword. Any person, yeah, I'm a digital marketing intern. Yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's in digital marketing. And as a person who had built a agency, a content agency since the 2017 myself, I was really confused how to enter this red ocean, because if I were to enter something like this, I would certainly require one particular edge that I will have over other competitors, right? Because when we are talking about something that everybody else is established and everybody else has already made their name, it's big enough that why should we come to you? So that's when me and Sarvesh sat down, my partner, and we noticed and realized one thing is that a major chunk of the market in India that is not into digital marketing is the small scale businesses. The small scale businesses, when it comes to retail, when it comes to selling cakes or this and that. And we went in with that. And the another thing that I really liked myself as a marketeer was brand management, and that is something that I could really relate with you while we were working on our projects, right? So the projects that we worked on for your clients, there was this one particular thing that I really enjoyed was creating a story about that brand. When we are, because that is something that I believe anyone who has even studied one paper or a lesson of marketing will appreciate, is creating a good story about a product and making it something that a person can relate with and actually admire, instead of think, okay, that person is just selling to me. So yeah, I really relate with you that when we are talking about marketing and getting it out there, that one client that you recently mentioned, that you just need that one client, and after that it is a good domino fall that happens. And of course, that domino will have some kind of speed breakers in the middle, where things won't be as smooth sailing as we would like it to be. But hey, that's how it goes.
Absolutely. Yeah, today's date, I would say people are making a career out of it, and it's like people are making money in pajamas, right? So that was very different
Very true.
the days we had.
Very true.
One of the thing, I like what you said here, Ashutosh, is that edge, right? Having an edge is very important. And when you work with, for me, what happened in my case is I worked with so many different kinds of clients and so many different types of business model, B2C, B2B, branding and proper, let's say, they have like really big budgets, right? Like say
Right.
for advertising itself, it is about
Right.
25K dollars, right, a month. So that is a kind of thing
True.
when it comes to, and when you work with people like world class, people in motorsport F1, right? So they're
Correct.
like really big, and it's not
Correct.
just. I would not say it's big in terms of money. the kind of knowledge you get, kind of exposure you get, and that too you get to work with. I'm fortunate to work with many people who are grounded. Even they
True.
did not have air about themselves, so
True.
I learned a lot from them. uh, Believe me, the I would say in my initial, what do you call, quest to build e-commerce, I've even learned certain bit of. Though I'm a computer science graduate, lost touch with coding, so I had to learn that in HTML, CSS.
Right.
So yeah, and as you're
Right.
saying, speed breakers were there. It's still there are bumps here and there will appear. You and me know, right? We have worked on a particular
Yeah.
project, so we know what
Yeah.
happened and how things. And given the times we have, yeah, it's very challenging to stay uh, right and get things done. So all this will happen, but this is part of it. I'm come to a place where I've done 10 different things in digital, right? And I have never said no to anything except if that, let's say financially, if it was not viable for me to spend time and do things.
Right. So, to summarize our talk so far, the first major thing that can be taken away from your experience and your path is that be consistent, because the path for solopreneur in India or anywhere is a very strugglesome path which does not have immediate results or immediate, when we talk about a startup, there is an immediate time where we know that okay, the startup is not going to work. But when we are talking about the case of a solopreneur, their career, their startup, which is themselves, is equivalent to their life. So there are no immediate cutbacks. Okay, they don't ever realize that okay, this is it. They have to keep on going unless and until they decide that okay, this is not something that they want to do. So yeah, first thing that can be learned is be consistent. And the second thing I think that I want you to bring up now, because I have always learned and seen you talk about it, and I think it can never be said enough in today's world, is that India is a booming tech market, right? But a very major problem in the quality of consumers and the customers, I'm not talking about the quality of service providers, is that they don't understand the quality of the services that they're going to get. Because unless and until the consumers, the customers, the business owners realize that there is a big difference in getting say 1,000, 10,000 hits on their website or their platform by shady marketing techniques, that's something that is not going to help them in the long run. And I really want you to uh, summarize, like, at least give us a glimpse of how you have been leading and changing this particular thing about everyone you come across.
Right. So first of all, not only consistency, the persistence. Persistent pays off.
True.
So that's one thing.
True.
Again, I'll go back and tell that my partner Anu, right? She told that you have to be persistent, keep going. So whatever happens, in terms of outcome, let's not worry about that. Somehow we'll manage to sail through that. So the persistence is a thing which I somehow am good at. Coming to what you have asked here, very interesting and very relevant in today's state. Thing is that there are many street smart people out there who will sell services, and I as a business owner can decide to spend little less money irrespective of what will be the outcome, right? Because street smart people will not only sell it, they also promise things which cannot be achieved, right? So what I usually do is, in today's date, I do not do this convincing act at all, or I do not pitch, or I don't go far in my pitch. I just tell them this is what the reality is,
Right.
and if you want to really come
Right.
to terms with the reality, please accept it, right? Or
True.
else your choice. I know what is the outcome, but I would
True.
not like to discuss with you because I am very much aware about market. And I just tell them one interesting thing which I've been talking many different times is that you can buy a great chess kit, right? Or you can buy a great car, but end of the day, do you know how to go about it, right? If you want to win that game of chess, and especially in digital, you're competing with n number of opponents. You're not just competing with one guy there in the market. Google is open out and there is a million search results for any given search query. So you're competing with so much there. And if you are gonna you know not apply the right strategies on how to plan your game and win in that game, right? What tactics to be applied given the moves opponent will take, because it's a dynamic thing. Digital is a dynamic thing, and that is what
Yeah,
probably keeps me interested also, right? So because as I said, marketing is something again dynamic, evolving. It doesn't stick to and doesn't follow the status quo and always
correct.
challenges that and keeps going, like the madman thing, right? We have seen.
Yeah.
So that is what I tell them. I am not in convincing mode. I've come to a point where I tell them very honestly, this is what will happen, and it's up to you. So either you build website for 10,000 or 10 lakh, the outcome what will be there, because I've seen it all in last 10 years, and I can tell you what could be the outcome. One more thing I would say is I tell them is don't blame this on digital or digital marketing, right?
Right.
It is all about how you execute it, how you plan your strategy, how to go about it. I tell them in plain, simple words, very politely, that this is how this thing works. It's up to you.
It couldn't have been said better, because when we are talking about taking up projects, right? I recently got reached out to, because someone saw my videos and they were like, they wanted me to edit their videos for their forum. And I asked them questions that even they had not asked themselves. So they are a particular agency, that who they are, they are a media agency and they want to put their content out. And they were like, okay, why are you asking us all of this? We haven't thought about it. We just want you to edit the video so we can put it up. And I was like, what is the purpose of it though? What is going to come out of it? So that at least I understand how do I edit the videos for you. And that is something I believe, the particular thing, that particular attribute that comes is from the fact that we have that way of looking at things from a marketeer's point of view. And that is very important, because when we are talking marketing, in today's date, I would like to be very honest here. In today's date, people have boiled down marketing and digital world to something that is, short lived. They don't see the bigger picture, that digital world has been evolving and has been in place since a very long time. Ever since the internet began, advertising and marketing has started evolving digitally as well. And people have been doing this for a very long time. So what we see right now, even though there are a lot of agencies that make memes, so if you consider a particular consultancy for foreign education, what it does is it makes memes for people to come and visit their website. But what is happening is, they are the memes, the information that they are putting out through memes is not valid or is not authentic. So people are judging marketing as a whole from those one or two particular examples, that people are shady, they just want quick money, so they are using memes or other such go viral stuff, which they can use to later milk money out of. But yeah, there are good and bad both sides to a coin. So I'll just request to all the viewers today is that understand that having the marketeer's edge is going to take you forward if you are trying to do anything in life. It may not just be a business or a job. Even if you are a person who works for a company, you have to sell yourself at your interviews. You have to sell yourself to get that promotion. Make sure that you understand the basics of marketing and why it is important in your life.
Second, that there's no other thought I have for you, right? So what you said. So yeah, absolutely. This is what this is what we need to be doing as a business and as a business owner.
So that concludes our second point. And the third point, I believe, is something that I'm really looking forward to, because this is something that I haven't, like, I'm not acquainted with about your side. It's that how has being, the fact that you're a solopreneur changed your personality, changed you as a person, the way you conduct your life? Because on a call recently, this last week, I suppose last weekend, you said that you are feeling guilty when you're not working. And which so that was something that I would really like to know more about. At how has it changed you as a person? How has the solopreneur Cherag Mehta changed the husband, the father, the human Cherag Mehta.
Yeah, I mean, when I said I feel guilty is because I'm working for clients, and suppose there's no work on my plate, then I feel like, okay, I'm not doing anything. That was exactly what the context I was referring to. You know what we are going through, right? Last 6 months, it's been very, very challenging. Someone or the other in your circle is not been affected by COVID. I can't say that, right? Someone or the
Yeah,
other has got affected. So this has happened to me also in my circle. Probably that was the thing which uh, made me to, start focusing on my work more. And I felt that I should definitely, work more and more, and became a little workaholic. So
yeah,
pushed myself and look at whatever is there, try and finish that and deliver to my clients so that, uh, you know, I feel at ease. Probably it was a distraction, I would say, Ashutosh, that I had to, start looking at these things. As a person, believe me, very I would say, it was like very mechanical life which I had 10 years back, right? Getting up, going, just getting ready, going to office. But there's a vehicle waiting outside to you pick it up, and you had a comfortable journey. Go there, you work, you have all the things in the world. You have all the sodas on what do you call it? And the dispensers. You have
yeah.
pool table, you have Xbox gaming room. There's so many things going around there, and you can just enjoy. I was just thinking about this yesterday. Good that you kind of reminded. So I have all this. You have the best work environment, and you have the best of the best infrastructure and all that. But somehow that does not give you the perspective of real life, right?
True.
It just limits you and gets to your head that you are there in that place and this is what the life is. But that's not what the life is. That's part of the life. You work, you make some money from there, or you gain knowledge over the product or whatever the service you are delivering. That's it, right? And there's no real big thing to it. So people get that uh, idea that I'm working for XYZ. The moment the badge is taken off, you're nothing. Those time period or those days made me realize that there is more to life, right? There's not just being there on the desk doing your job, traveling to office, coming back, and let's say having a party, or taking your family to a great restaurant, and that's it. So you start
Correct.
realizing there are more things to in life. You start reading, you start processing things, and you go to a different place, right? So, and you start realizing there are many different aspects in life. Today, as a father, I'm trying to do my best. My son is interested in gaming. He's homeschooled. I'm putting my best effort to, help him in, setting up his gaming station, whatever. He's just under 10-year-old kid. So I'm just trying things which are very relevant to the people who are there in my life, right? I've
Right.
disconnected from what I was, and re-looked at how I should be. And this is a process. This does not happen because one thing I will say, relationships are messy, and they do not happen just on WhatsApp. They will not happen ever on Facebook. They have to happen in the offline world. Even though I'm a digital guy, I'm saying this,
Right.
right? So this has to happen in the offline world. You spend time and you connect with people, you talk to them, and that's how the relation. And that is what today people are questioning, right? When they're saying that work, we don't have that team thing going, team interpersonal skills are affected, all this jargons are being used. This is the reason the relationships are messy, right? Water cooler talks are not happening in
Yeah.
pool on Zoom and all that. So relationships are messy, and I'm to a complete supporter of that, right? So that is the change
Right.
I can say. I don't know if it's because of the age or because of the things which I've gone through. That is what it is. As a partner or as a father today, I'm just trying to, give back to them whatever the time they had been, held back or whatever the times I couldn't do anything for them, right? So that is what it is.
That's first of all, applause to you. That's a really amazing, the summary. And I mean, the glimpse that you have just given us, it's crazy. And I believe you must have felt it more than we can imagine. Like listening to it is a different thing, going through it is a different thing. I always say that. So, yes, it's really brave of you to tell us and share with us all these things.
Sometimes it gives me goosebumps what I was 10 years back and what I am. Like having this 2 or 3 computers that, working with 4 or 5 screens and on my desk as an engineer, and then suddenly bloop, yeah, of course, the screens are still there, maybe a couple of less screens now, but the way
Yeah.
you look at it is changed. So when you're done with your work, you move on, you sit with your family and spend some time. Ask your son, or ask your spouse, what are they up to with life today and all that. I have a special mention. My partner or partner in crime, or my bitter half, whatever I can make fun of her.
Yes.
She is the one, and she just stood by me and she said, you know what, you keep going on this. Let's see. I have trust and faith on you. I think you can stand out, right? So that's what it is. And that there should be one person to help you. I
True.
will not
Very,
use
very
that
true.
cliche that there is a woman behind a successful man and all that. But end of the day, that should be one person to believe in you, trust you. It could be a friend, it could be your parent, it could be a partner, and it could be anybody else. In my case, even your teacher or guide coach. In my case, it was my spouse, and it happens to be my spouse till now.
That's really, really amazing, Cherag, sir. I kudos to you first of all once again. And I really thank you so very much for sparing out time for this little talk and enlightening all of us with your words of wisdom and sharing with us how you have managed to win at life as a solopreneur in India.
Ashutosh, first of all, thank you for inviting me. Yeah,
So,
I'm very happy to be on your Honest Fabler podcast. And this is my podcast debut. Yeah, I've been contemplating this for a while that when we will do this, I'm really happy that you added me in the list. And yeah,
the
and
pleasure is all mine, sir.
thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to us. That is me, Cherag Solopreneur, and Ashutosh, the Honest Fabler. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. If you're listening on podcast, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. And please stay connected on this, podcast season 2, so that you can get to listen to many interesting stories from many different interesting guests. Thank you.